getting ready to start everything up, but we'll see how it all goes out. Freaking Odyssey finally finished processing, so, and plus I want to check the audio like I usually do, make sure everything sounds good. Now, Christian,
Yep.
what I usually do is I do audio tests and everything, and I do it on live stream so that I can test out the live stream and stuff.
Okay.
So I do make sure, as long as I can hear my voice on there, I'm okay with, you know, everything. So there we go. And see right here on X, I would have messed up because I didn't get that ready. So let me pop this in. And let's see what happens. Create broadcast. Live stream WoW Talk. Now, I did go over some of your interviews previously so I could get some talking points, okay, Christian?
Okay.
So, and when we do this, I noticed on a lot of your interviews you really didn't get much time to focus on what you were talking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you more time to where you can talk about the stuff that we're talking about, you know, and not, because I did notice that there was a lot of good points you had that you weren't really able to.
And about right on. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Thanks.
So, let me see something real quick. This axis. Something else. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Alright, so what time is it? Okay, so 1 minute from now. No. Okay. Got that finally up and going. It gets kind of strange, you know what I mean? So, alright. So we got that finally up and going. It gets kind of, audio sounds good. Now I'm gonna have to go into Rumble. Now I'm gonna have, Rumble sounds good. Rumble and Twitch sounds good. Odyssey sounds good, YouTube sounds good, and X. All of them are all set up, so we're good to go. Now, I know it's after 5, but like before we get started, I'm gonna run and get me some coffee because I wasn't able to grab my coffee yet and do a quick smoke. I can't smoke at the computer, so before we start, if you guys want to go grab something real quick, I suggest going doing it because I have a feeling this is going to be a good stream. So if not, just hang out and talk. We're live streaming. When we get the interview going, we'll do. I'll start recording and then we'll do the interview. Now, Christian, I usually ask people ahead of time if they want to have people talking, but I've learned here recently, mostly with being on Raphael's wife's channel, that when we talk about these topics, things get out of hand. So we're gonna wait. Yeah, we're gonna wait until we're gonna wait till after the interview for questions and answers, and it's up to you if you want to take questions and answers after the interview. Okay? Do you mind if anybody asks you questions afterwards?
I don't mind.
Okay. And I'm doing that out of respect because I'm telling you right now, I've seen it way too many times recently. So we'll keep it to where you tell your story, and we'll do the interview, and we'll do a thorough interview too. Okay, so let me go get my stuff taken care of, and I will be back. And you guys behave though, because remember, you are being viewed by everybody. So. Don't be acting up,
Hello,
Mark.
everybody.
Don't be acting up, Mark Edworthy.
Awesome.
I'll put this on pause. I'll have a smoke too.
That's good. You hitting the bong? What are you doing over there?
Huh?
You hitting the bong? What are you doing over there?
Oh no, I'm still getting over it. I've been
Okay,
suffering from a cold for the last 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get one. I'm just starting to get one. I know what you're saying.
Glad when it's over. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wednesday before last, actually. Yeah.
Are you okay? You okay? Sorry, I'm trying to multitask at the same time.
Story of my life. Do
You're
nothing
right.
but multitasking. I've got I've got 5 screens in front of me. Or 4 screens that I'm using, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm bouncing between the various.
Okay, I am back. So, I'm going to get the screen capture thing. Windows capture hopefully works, and if it does, then we'll be able to get you guys on here, into view. There we go. It popped up. There's no telling how long that's gonna last though, so no promises. Oh wait. Okay, so it did work on there for that. I'm gonna get it on Twitch, and then I'll hit record or do my countdown. I'll hit record, and we'll be good to go. So let's see here. I think this stuff is actually gonna work out pretty good. Got that cool waveform that Mark's been using, and I've got it set up to where frickin' it shows audio visualization when you guys talk, and then it's separate from when I talk, so it's all real cool. Okay, say something real quick for me.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, that's
How
good.
are you?
That's good. All right, so
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
there we go.
Maybe I had a little lamb.
You there, Christian? You there, Christian? Do it
Yep.
real quick. Okay, there you go. Okay, so everything's good. I'm gonna hit record and get things going, and we should be up and ready to go. I just have to find out where I'm at. All right. So 3, 2, 1, now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of WWOW Talk. Today we have a special guest here. This is going to be an interview, and this topic that we're having is it brings up a lot of controversy and a lot of emotion. So in this interview, what I want to do is we're just going to do the interview first, and then I asked Christian, who's doing the interview, if he would be alright with questions and answers after the interview, and he said that it was okay. Usually I let people ask questions during the interviews if the speaker agrees to let that happen, but this time I did it because I've had experiences where it can go south real quick if I allow people to talk while we're doing the actual interview. So with that being said, I do want to say that my guest for today is a guy that I had met through World Pirate Radio Network, Jeffy Ryder or Captain Sinclair, whichever, hint it is. You know, it could be both. It could be separate, 2 separate people, but I don't think so. But anyhow, he said that me and Christian should meet and talk, and I thought it was a good idea. And before I could even send a message to him, bam, here Christian was sending me a message saying Jeffy wanted to get in touch, us to get in touch with each other. So this is pretty good. Now, before we get started, I'd like to have Christian introduce himself, kind of give us a background about himself, and let everybody get to know him. Would you mind doing that for me, Christian?
Yeah, sure. First, thanks for having me on your show. And yeah, like my name is Chris Laterreur. Like I'm a survivor of the MK Ultra project, like called the Monarch Project. And yeah, like I'm here to talk about this. So yeah,
Okay, now you're from Canada
that's
too, right? Yeah, now
like
you're from Canada too, right?
yeah, like I was from Quebec originally.
Okay.
So,
Now, are you okay with using your last name or?
yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, because I know you've been on a couple other interviews, so if anybody's watching, they'd be able to find you easier. I've actually gone through and done some research before we did this, so I could have at least some talking points, you know.
Yeah,
So, if you don't mind, could you tell people what your full name is?
yeah, Chris Laterreur.
LTR. You see, I was curious about that too because I could tell that had some French tones to it. I didn't know how to pronounce it, so I'll just
Yeah.
call you Christopher.
Yeah, Christian or Chris. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want to say about your background?
Well, yeah, like, you're gonna, I'll explain a bit through my story, but
Okay.
yeah, like, I was recruited at 6 years old by the CIA, in this project, and, like, pretty much all my friends got recruited too, and like, yeah, so we're a bunch of survivor, and yeah, like,
Okay.
I want to get the story out, like the real story, because like, you know, like there's a lot of stories and legends and kinds of like, but yeah, like I think the real story is probably worse than all those little like other stories and stuff inspired of it. So yeah.
Okay. Now you were talking before on another interview about a book that you had that got banned. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that and let everybody know what happened there with that situation.
Yeah, I wrote a book. It's called The Montauk Boys, Terror at Montauk, The Last Moments of Camp Hero. And like as soon as I put it online on Amazon, it didn't take 24 hours. I got banned for life. Like they removed the book. They told me like the sales you did, you won't get the money. Like I got all the screenshots of those texts. Like really, like yeah, like just no reason. Like yeah, really, like just so. Yeah, the book is really censored. It's hard to get. The only place you can get it, it's on lulu.com. Like in a ebook format. Like so yeah. But that's the truth, and like this book was originally made it wasn't a book, like it was my testimony for the action class against the Allen Memorial Hospital in Montreal. It's the CIA hospital. They were doing tests there, and I spoke with like Ann Diamond and Elena Freeland, and they convinced me that like people needed to know the truth behind the everything, you know, like I was a kind of the missing link of the story. So yeah, so we added like little sections here and there, like that's the temporary book, because like kind of a lifesaver edition, because like you can't like start talking and not releasing something, because you'll get you know, so like at least I released that, so like just to avoid to have problems. So yeah, now
Now you mentioned the Montauk Boys. Now that kind of stuck out to me whenever you referred to that. So I was wondering if maybe you could kind of give us a background story on the reason why you came up with the term the Montauk Boys.
well, that was like because MK Ultra had like probably 200 sub project. Okay, like from like and they change of name to Monarch and like but like a few of us were sent to this place. That was the hardest place you could go. Like 1% of us made it out alive of there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, like kids were dying. Like yeah, like it was a place we were kept in cage. I was 8 years old when I was sent there, and like kept in cage, no bed and panties. Like the floors were like concrete floors, soaked wet, like blood everywhere. Like we were.
Now,
They were coming to see us there, like.
now I was wanting to get to all that too, you know, because I did see that in your interviews. But I want, before we start getting into that, I want to kind of get into some other stuff that you were discussing that really stuck out to me. And I do have what you were referring to on my talking points, because I've heard you talk about this stuff before, okay, on other interviews. But the one thing that I do want to get into that you mentioned before, okay, and it concerns you being kidnapped as a child. You said you were 6 years old when you were kidnapped, right?
No, I wasn't kidnapped. Like I was recruited like at 6 years old.
Okay.
Like what happened? Like the preschool brought us to a job fair, and like people were talking about their trades there. Different booths, like different trades, like little tables with stuff about their trades, and the last booth was military and cops, and like they had like guns, like drug samples, and like and they offered us to participate in a secret project.
Okay.
So we had like some checklists to fill out, and like and we all wanted to be badass, you know, like spies, assassins, like mercenaries, like Green Beret, like all that stuff. So the teachers were there, like, are you sure? Because like we were 6 years old, you know. How can you like make choice for your life at that age, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
Now, what kind of questions and stuff like that were they having you do on this checklist? Like, could you kind of elaborate on that and kind of give us an example of some of the questions?
Yeah, like all about like you know like it was different. Like they were talking about different like aspect in the military kind of thing, or in the cops, like you know like investigator, or like you know like all kinds of branches, like medic, or you know like stuff that you would be attracted to. But like yeah, like there were a lot of like for black ops, for like mercenary, Green Beret, and like spies. That was the main thing. Like I think.
Okay, so they were basically wanting to find out what you would be interested in. At least it appeared that way. Like.
Yeah, like those were like checklists, like about like you know like things in the those fields, like you know like but not. We were 6 years old, so like the questions were pretty much basic too, but like. That was the first checklist, but we had like regular checklists like that to do after, like you know, like to size up like our taste, like what we like, what we dislike, like you know, like just to know us like perfectly, you know, like so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I these checklists, so that they were basically being introduced to you over and over again, and they were keeping tabs of what you were thinking and how you and stuff of that nature is what you're saying, right? So you were constantly being questioned on this and this and this, and they wanted you to fill them out. So,
yeah.
So that's good. That was one thing that really stuck out to me whenever you were doing your interviews, because you kept mentioning these checklists, and nobody really ever asked you about them, and wanted to figure out what it was that were on that list, you know. Like this is the first time I've heard you say actually that they gave you these checklists over and over again.
Yeah, like and like just to like follow up on us. Like they were like we were like really like they were investing a lot of money on us. Like to build us. They were flying us everywhere. Like so like that was like yeah like they have a logbook of each of us. So
Okay. Now, also something else that you talked about was whenever you got involved with these guys, that they pretty much had you go home and have your parents sign papers for the
yeah.
recruitment. Could you kind of go into that for us and tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about
like
that?
they sent us back from that job fair, like with the papers to show to our parents, and if they were like in a court and like they were okay with this, to bring back the paper, and we would get an appointment from there. So we all did this, like me and my buddies, like brought this to my mom because my dad was working at the Bay James while I got recruited. So yeah, like my mom filled out those papers. Like I was all there. I was all motivated. Please, please, please. It looked so cool. Like the show that we're selling was nice, for a kid. But yeah, till you get in the real thing. So anyway, so we got this appointment when I brought the papers back, and like in the appointment, they were just like. Talking to my mom and like spinning her head around, like like a few like important people. Oh, he's gonna be like a genius. Like it's just through light traumas and like with the hypnose and like you won't remember nothing. Blah 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 blah. And yeah, like there were. It was like a pressure cell, like a machine to recruit kids. So yeah, and the money was good too. Like they were giving good money to the parents. So yeah, that's how I got recruited. So
Yeah, no,
like
when,
my mom
oh,
was working with the cops in the same office, so she trusted them. Like she had no idea what like, and the thing too, like when we were in this appointment, they told us that because we wanted that, like not to complain about it, and like we weren't allowed to talk to our parents, and our parents weren't allowed to talk about or ask us question about like what was going on in those tests. So like and they made stuff in that project that to make us so uncomfortable that we wouldn't talk about it, like crazy stuff. So yeah.
now when you mentioned that before, that's kind of something that stuck out to me, and like we just went over the papers and the checklist. Now, you said in previous interviews that your parents weren't aware. And you also said that parents couldn't ask questions about what had happened, and the kids couldn't tell them anything either.
It could be a test to see if we were talking or whatever. We wanted to be spies. We wanted to be like like the real thing. So like we couldn't mess around, and like yeah, I was motivated. Like
no, did they make it appear as though as that's what it was, to where it was training you and things of that nature, or did they tell you bad things would happen if you told?
Yeah, like at some point, like threatening to kill my parents, or like stuff like that. Like like there's a phase in my young age, like where like I was waiting till my mom goes to sleep, and I was going next to the door in the back. I was grabbing a knife, and I was staying there all night till the morning comes up. And I was like when the sun was coming up, I was going to sleep a few hours before school, because like I was scared, like, and I thought they were coming by the back door. So like I was always there. Yeah. So that's a few years of that. So
Yeah. That's one thing that I really noticed whenever I seen it. I thought that would be something that we would discuss, because, like I said, whenever I watched the interviews, it was like you wanted to bring this stuff up, but to me personally, and I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just saying it didn't seem like the questions were structured. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to where you could actually tell your story and let people hear it and be able to say everything that you wanted to say about it. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to do here. I'm wanting
Oh,
to,
that's nice.
you know what I mean? So that you have a chance to say everything and be able to get your message out to people and the way you want it. You know what I mean? If there's something else that pops up while we're talking that I don't have on my talking point, I'll add it on and I'll go back and we'll talk about it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So with your parents, after your parents and you weren't talking to one another and telling each other what was going on, you also mentioned that kids didn't use their real names. There either. Like I believe you said your name there was Duncan Carmen.
Duncan Cameron.
Cameron.
And like that was for Montauk. Like, but for Montauk, we weren't using our real names, and like for other places too. But like at the certification when we had like our cards and all, and like the insurance papers and like like our numbers and all. Yeah, like we had that name too, but we couldn't like tell it to our other friends or whatever. What was the other name? Like so. This is papers that we had to bring to our parents, and parents were keeping them, and like so that's like the pension papers and stuff like that. And,
Yeah. Now, I would like to get into Montauk and talk about that right off, but before we do that, there are some other things that you had mentioned that I think would be interesting to talk about before we get there. Okay. Now, you had mentioned quite a few times about handlers. Okay. And from what we're talking about now, the first thing that popped up in your conversation was the cops. And you said that your mom had been working for the police force, I guess, before all
yeah, in the
this
same
occurred.
office, not they were in the same building. She was a government employee too, but like another division or whatever. So yeah.
Now, this relationship that she had with these police officers, was it one where they like hung out with each other and had conversations and stuff like that, or was it just they went to work and and she came home and that was it?
Well, that I know of, yeah, like they were just like like co-workers, seeing daily and like talking, and like my mom was nice, like they were nice too, like like the sweetest two-faced. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I know that might sound weird and everything, but it is a good question that really does need to be brought up, because you said that children were driven to Montauk by undercover cops and cop cars for testing.
Like in cops, like dressed in cops, but like in undercover cars, like like ghost cars, like phantom cars for the police, and they were hauling us like in that, and like we were like doing 6-hour drive to New York, okay, to Montauk, and we were passing through the custom, and like just slowing down and waving the hand, and the guy at the second floor was just like they were seeing kids travel there all the time by cops. They weren't even stopping, like that's the kind of like it's big, it's the government, it's the militaries, it's like CIA, man.
Okay. Now, Raphael has his hand raised and everything. So, do you want to ask a question, Raphael?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, when you say phantom cars, do you mean unmarked vehicles?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. In French, we the voiture fantôme, like that's in French. We call this like ghost cars. So like from.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
I want to be clear on that one.
yeah, that is a good point, because that was one thing that you had mentioned about when it comes to these handlers that I felt that was a part of the conversation about the handlers. That's what I at least assumed you were referring to when you were talking about handlers. And then you also mentioned the military. Now, there was a part in one of your interviews where you said that the military came, forced the kids into a military truck that had 6 wheels, and they were all in their underwear.
Yeah.
And
Like that's when the last day of Montauk, like when the accident happened there, and like the base closed. Like we were all like transferred to those 2 military trucks. There were 2 trucks like that, like with tarps in the back, like, and with lines of seats each side, and we had to sit down, and like they gave us like little gray blankets, like. And somebody went to get some like jogging suit, military jogging suits. Some were gray and blue, navy blue, and the other ones were gray and green. So like all like a little size. We were all like pretty much like kids like of my age, like 8, 9, 10. Like a few were a bit older. Like I think Stuart was like probably 4 years older than me. Around that, like so.
yeah, I remember you talking about the jogging suits, and also you went and the blankets too. You mentioned the blankets in other interviews, but you also said that when you guys were sent there, you were put in cages in your,
Yep.
and this was also while you were only wearing underwear. So you were put in cages with no beds, and you were laying in water. Is that?
Yeah, like well, like we were doing the 6-hour drive, and we were getting there in the middle of the night, and we were walking in a little like wood path, and there were like a hatch, and like in the ground, and like a big concrete like kind of like a square, and like with like metal like steps, like little steps coming out of the, and we were going down there, and we had to like undress, and like they were putting our clothes like all in the same spot, and after we were going to the cage row, like we had to go to a door and like going down, and and they were putting us in our cage, but like they were like putting one in a cage, they were like skipping a cage, you know, like another one, so like that we weren't like one next to the other, you know, like, and there were like rows, one in front of the other, so they were like putting like the other kids and they're in front of the empty row, in front of the empty cage kind of thing in the other side, so like
Yeah, it makes sense. Everything made sense what you said there. Now, the one thing I do want to know so about that situation is this was all voluntarily. You guys went in and voluntarily went into these cages, or did they force you?
yeah, no, like we were drugged like all the way to the 6-hour drive, like we were like drugged, and like we got there, they drugged us. We were like they were giving a lot of LSD to us, like, you know, like not small dose, like, you know, like yeah, like probably to get like 10 people high, you know, like each dose they were giving us. So we were like opening the doors of the mind, like he was saying, you know, like, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now, I do remember you talking about, and you only talked about this briefly when it comes to the drugs. You said that they were giving you drugs and LSD.
Yeah.
So this was during the time that the police would. Now, when they picked you up, were you in a facility or were you still living at home?
I was still at home. Like we went to I got sent to Montauk because like I did a test in water, like with a closed gasket, like in pitch dark, like deprivation or something like that they call this.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we were the heads trapped in like a kind of gasket. There were two-way speaker in the door, and like So we were tied up. We had like water like to probably an inch from the nose, like barely to the mouth. And like soon as they were closing that door, like we had the head strap, so we couldn't like move or nothing. And they were splashing water, like waterboarding, and the test there was to go in astral projection and get two words that my handler was holding, hiding in the school, another school, So I'm the only one that managed to do it, So those two words were propaganda and constitutional.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, I am close to getting into discussing MK Ultra and Montauk and everything, but there are a couple things that I did still want to go over with these handlers. Now, and being put in the cages and only being in your underwear and stuff like that. Now, you had a story that you told. First of all, you said that there's millions of kids who were sent there doing this stuff.
Well, supposedly this place had like up to 500,000 kids. Okay, so like that's like that's a lot of kids, and like I saw a lot of kids there. Like it wasn't always the same. Like but yeah, like I saw like bad stuff there, like really bad stuff. Like it was all underground, under tunnel. Like we could like cry like for help or nothing. Nobody would hear us or come for us there. Like like the place was built for that. So yeah, like they were like waterboarding us like two at that place. Like they were like at the end of the cages row. There were like an open room with a big like metal pan with like to feed animals or something like that, and like they were bringing us there and like just like till we were giving up, till we gave up, because like we weren't even fighting anymore, like cause like like, just, and like those guys were brutal. They were military guys, and like once in a while they were coming in the row of cage and just like opening the cage and kicking us to see if we were still alive, so or just sleeping, so and like some were coming with masks, and like and I saw one, and I went and said, I was stoned, so hey, I recognize you. Oh, he knocked me out. Like I was beat up bad by this guy, like like, so yeah, like I have bad memories of that place, like.
Yeah.
And
now,
everybody that went there, like, probably has the same type of memories as I have, like, because yeah.
Okay, now you were also talking about a buddy that you had that you were in those cages with, and you went into the cage and he didn't move one day, and you didn't know for sure if he was still or alive or if he was dead. Is there a reason for why you didn't know? Because like afterwards, did you get transferred somewhere or something like that where you didn't have contact with him? Or
No. It's just because like I woke up from being beaten and all, and like there were kids and another kid that was like, cause I was like at the crossway of two like cage row, okay, and like so the kid that was in front of my cage like was hanging, okay, like in draining, like in a pan, like draining the blood, and like Steve was like in the other, like the main row of cage, but like not the one right in front of me, like between, like in the between both of our cage of me and the dead kid. So like he had the dead kid in front of him too, like for sure he was seeing him too, and like but I was trying to, because like they gave us names to use there, like so that like if we were like getting questioned or tested, like tortured or whatever, if we would give our names or whatever. So like yeah, like mine was Duncan Cameron, and Steve name was Pedro de Montoya. So like because you look a bit like a Mexican, so I was trying to call him Pedro de Montoya for a while. He wasn't like moving, like not giving a sign of life. At some point, I even like Steve, like, and like not more of a sign. He made it out, like, cause like all this shit happened, like the monsters came out of the wall and like destroyed the place, and they saved us. Like that's true. Like that's.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I do have that.
Stranger Things series.
I do have that
It's
plan
like-
for. I do have that plan. Okay, because that was important. But that's coming up. Now, the one thing I want you to kind of go back over and elaborate at this point, though, is the part about MK Ultra. So far, we've talked about them giving you drugs, which was LSD, and. But you also mentioned something else that was going on there too, and this was they were making you listen to just general talking in a pair of headphones on a tape.
That's not to Montauk. That's another place. Like I have like 3-4 of my buddies that remember that place too. Like we built that place for other groups of kids. We built those bunk beds. We traveled them from the storage to like the place where they were making us sleep for a month. So, but yeah, I remember the test was like a month of sleeping, and they were playing tapes. Like we all had headphones. We were all in bunk beds, and like they were coming to wake us up to bring us to the toilet to pee, and like sending us back, giving us more drugs. We were drugged for a month, sleeping and having those tapes playing in our minds. Like so, yeah, that's one of the MK Ultra tests. But like there were so many, like and like that's what I'm trying to expose, because like like no kids deserve that. Like hey, we're young and like yeah.
Yeah. No, when it comes to this part, you referred to special schools, and I think that would be something that would kind of go into this and bring it out a little bit. Now, when you say special schools, is there any kind of description that you can get about what these different kind of schools were and what they made you do?
The school was actually a school that was sold for $1. Okay, it had to be refurbished and all, and it's the CIA that bought it, and they also bought the little church that was in front as their office, undercover office. Okay, so they were still playing tapes of like the church, like church music in there and all, and like but it was the office. Like a lot of CIA agents were coming there, like and like evaluate certain kids or whatever, or like to teach us, and they were going to dinner to have their dinner in the church, and like that was their office. So yeah, like that school was a regular school, but like most of the kids in it were part of the Monarch project, like the MK Ultra sub project, and but we were not all for the same field. Like most of them, like are like were headed for like head position everywhere and stuff like that. Like everybody's controlled. Like everybody that's in power positions are being controlled. So like yeah. So that's a school for that, but like that's only one school. So yeah.
Okay, so do you have any information on like those other schools that you're talking about, other than that one? Because I mean,
I didn't go to them, so I can talk about like the other. I can just like because like it was a gig. Like they were kind of probably most of the CIAs that were like coming to teach us like could certify that they went to other like a bunch of school, because like it wasn't just in my area.
Okay.
Like that's for sure.
Okay. That's good to go through, because I wanted to kind of get that elaborated to see if maybe you had to go to multiple schools to learn or stuff like that, because when
They
you
were following up, and I can say that like the cops, because like my school, the cops were like always there as soon as it was open, because there were a lot of like the MK kids in there. So but like there were a lot of schools around that had kids from the MK project, and they were just getting like taking out the class, like separated from the groups, and like to like have their mind fucked up with like us, like it was all the same pattern everywhere. But you know, like I have buddies that were in the project that weren't in the same school, and like I did tests with them, a few tests, so like I can certify that. So yeah.
cool. Now you mentioned testing abilities, after the special schools. You were talking about you had tests done to test your special ability, or testing your abilities.
Yep.
And this is where I make it out that the Montreal CIA hospital comes into play, right? And they were testing you for astral projection and
Yeah.
and everything. So
Viewing, like astral projection, like telekinesis, like move stuff, like stuff like that, like all those like different aspects, like making us like link with all our senses, like you know, like a day blindfold in school, like with somebody guiding us, you know, like stuff like that, like all kinds of so it was like 6 years of that, like intense, like for that school, before we were getting certified, like the ones that like survived. And like, cause honestly, like in the first year, half the kids were gone. Like in the first year.
and when you say they were gone, you're referring to they were dead.
Never see them again.
Oh, they just disappeared. So you don't know for sure if they died or if they just were disappeared.
Yeah, like I don't think that many kids move out.
Yeah. So at this Montreal CIA hospital, is there a way that you could kind of elaborate more and kind of give us an idea of what the scene was? You know, like.
That hospital, like John Gettinger was there. Like he was the chief recruiter for the CIA. He was like the chief recruiter for many like secret services around the world. So like, you know, it's big. It's not just like Canada, United States. It's everywhere. But like he was like the main guy that was selecting like the spies for like all the secret services are all around pretty much. So like he was my main the guy that was following me, like you know, and my mom, and the appointments with my mom a lot. And so yeah, like
So he'd basically be your handler. He
was one of the handler, but like sample for the water test, what that was done in the handicap school, where I met my two buddies, two of my buddies, like that I'm still buddies with. Like they remember that place. They don't remember why they would be there. Like we were in the middle of summer, and we were in an handicap school, and like you know, like we all had pools. So and that's where we met and all. And they remember a bunch of the details that I say, but like they don't remember the best, because they didn't went through like a regression hypnose and all, like I did, like because yeah, like that. Yeah, that was like the best thing I could have done. Like unlock my memory, like because yeah, like they mess with your head, they erase our memories, and so yeah, it feels good to remember who you really are. You know, like yeah.
Now this handicap school, could you kind of go into that a little bit more, because this is the first time I've really heard about the handicap school. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was about and what you had to do there?
Yeah, well, that was the test with the two gaskets. Like the two gaskets were in a little room next to the pool, and were next to the showers, and there were a kind of office with a glass, and there were computers the other side that were like really connected to those two gasket, and we were going on the step ladder one on each side, and laying in there. They were strapping our head and closing the gasket. There were two-way speaker in it to talk to us. So yeah, the mission was to go and get those two words and come back, say those two words, and they would stop the waterboarding machine and open the gasket. So I was the only one that made it that day, and but we all had to go through it, and we were all drugs. We were. And there were a few parents that were checking us in the pool. We couldn't talk in the pool, but me and my buddies, remember, we find a way to talk a bit, in the filter spot and all, and so we have all those memories, the parents and all, and they remember this too. So yeah, and we had to stay for a few hours there, and after, when we left, my handler came back with the undercover car, so yeah, and when he got in the parking, we were all leaving, all three together, and he made thumbs up. So I made thumbs up too, and so from there I had another appointment to go with my mom to another school, meet Jack, the main guy that was in charge of the Montauk Air Force Base. So he was one of my handlers that was coming to see me regularly at home. So we had this appointment, and it was to talk about Camp Hero. That was a hard place to go. It was older kids usually that was going there, but there were magical chair, and it was making appear anything you want, and a fantasy show. So he tells me yeah, I want to go. So Camp Hero, I thought they were building Hero on that chair. So yeah, I went, and he gave me an appointment, a time to go and wait on the corner of my street, and somebody would pick me up. It was my handler. My buddy Steve was already in the car, and yeah, from there, I remember it was a super nice day, in the afternoon, and we went to get Stuart, and Stuart was living probably 15 minutes away from my place. So yeah, we crossed the water place, on the ferry or whatever, and we went and got Stuart, and after from Stuart we went and get another kid Michel that was at the Dunkin' Donut, and that's where they gave me that name, Duncan Cameron, and I had a badge. In French it's a macaron. So I had that lunch, that cup, Duncan, and that macaron to remember the name and practice it. But I was on LSD. Yeah. So I was laughing in the car. So always messing up, Duncan, donut, Duncan, so yeah, at some point, almost like a trip, are we there yet? Are we there yet? But on LSD and fucking up my name. So at some point he told me, shut the fuck. And yeah, so I was practicing in my mind, but yeah, we all had names like that to practice, and so a 6-hour ride of that, and we got there at Montauk in the middle of the night. They at the Dunkin' Donut, they gave us a bit of LSD with a count dropper kind of thing in our drinks, and a sweet ride. So yeah,
Now,
When we got to Montauk, that's where like we got to the hatch and all, and yeah.
now you also mentioned a place where they had monitors, masks, plugs everywhere. There was catheters, and they kept showing you the lotus flower. Now,
Oh, yeah, that's on the chair.
okay, so that's a part of the chair.
Yeah.
So I do want to get to the chair, and I also want to get to the freaking the regressive hypnosis, but I want to hold off on that because right now you're in a really really important part of your story. You know what I mean? So I don't want to skip through this stuff and get to that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I did want to talk about that though because that did stick out to me. But the one thing that I do want you to talk about a little bit more is this astral realm. Now at least I understand astral projection. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you see astral projection as different from remote viewing?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you kind of
Like
fill
remote
us?
viewing is more like instinct, like kind of thing, like to like simple, like you point on the map and whatever, and you go like you have like hints of what's surrounding, and like to build like the image, but like astral projection is more going there and digging in there and like a ghost. So like that's what they were training us to do, like the astral projection part, but like the remote viewing, like I was taught by like a legend, Joe McMonteagle. Like he came at school, like I had him for a few days, like my class, and like he trained us, like a super nice guy. Nothing really, I really want to specify this guy has nothing to do with the project or nothing. He was just like another CIA asset that was training like kids to like do remote viewing. So like a gentleman. I really like this guy is nothing to do with the abuse, and like I want to specify that, like because like the guy like doesn't deserve like a bad reputation. He's a really nice guy. So he was, and
Okay.
when I was a kid. So
That's good. So now I did want to get that out of the way, clear that up, so that we do understand that you're discussing astral projection rather than remote viewing, because in one of your interviews you said that when you're astral projecting, you're like a ghost.
yeah.
Could you kind of elaborate on that and tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, like you're really like a ghost, like you're flying and like you go where you want, like there's no space or time limit, or like yeah, like when they build us for that, to do this, like that's why all the LSD, that's why all the mind, like the doors of the mind opening, and like all those training, and like yeah, like we got built and brought to this level, like so.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned too that like you can travel to where you want to go by thought. You just think about it and you're there.
Yeah, like you just like that's how it works, like you focus to meditation and all, and like when you're leaving your body, like you think of where you want to go, and you just like it brings you there. Like it's just like everything's automatic kind of thing. Like it's smooth. It's like, and like you're light. You're like the sensation is awesome. Like yeah, that's a cool trip.
No, one thing I do know from my research into astral projection is like for me the difference between astral projection and remote viewing is basically with remote viewing you don't leave your body. Whereas with astral projection, you leave your body and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I always found curious was that like your spirit, I guess, is got like a self-defense mechanism to where if your body is being put in danger to where, like, say another entity is trying to take over your body, you'll automatically snap to your body. Have you ever experienced anything like that before, where you were pulled back into your body because of something that you didn't know?
Not that I remember of, like, because like they build like like through those traumas they build like a series of outer like personalities in us. So like and like those are built to cope with those like like the those situation that could come like in the future and all, like that was all planned. That was like like it's not dating from yesterday. Like there's hundreds like like I don't know how long this project went, because like it's dating from probably Egypt, like so, yeah. But like the MK Ultra from the Second World War and the paperclip, because like we had the real Nazi like dealing with us, like me and my buddies, like the Dr. Green, because like I found out that like it's not all the Nazis that were taking care of us that were the same, but they all had the same code, like Dr. Green. So like that was how we were calling them. And like the one that like dealt with us, I recognized him on a picture, okay? And like actually he faked his death, like for sure he's paperclip. He was the chief of like intelligence for the Nazi services. Okay, he's the one that built all the death camps and like the gas chambers and all, like to make this productive. He's the one. Hitler was calling him Iron Heart. Okay, the Butcher Prague.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So now.
yeah, that's the guy that like was messing with her head, and like we're a few that remembers him and his office, because we at the end of the school when we all had our certification, we all had to go and see him, and like that's the last time I saw him, and yeah, like I recognize him, like like from the pictures from like World War II, so that's pretty neat. So Heinrich Reinhardt.
Heinrich Reinhardt. Okay, so with these altered personalities, how many altered personalities do you think you possibly have had?
I don't know, like if I go with the like I don't know if it's matching, because like the test that I did at the Allen Memorial, like it was like I had a bunch of needles everywhere on my head, and like they were keeping my eyes open, and they were like putting drops in them, and it was painful. That was like like you think, oh, that's nothing. That sucked. So but I remember there were like probably 12 or 14 pictures of my brain, different pictures on the light board, like it's kind of an X-ray board or whatever. So I don't know if it's like all the alters they created in me, but for sure I was the grand finalist of all my area. Okay, so like I did all the tests. Like at the end I was like, is there more tests? I wanted to go and do, no, there's no more. So like they put me in like a unit called Reserve, the Reserve. That's where like we were like Black Ops, like they were like so that's the unit, the Reserve. So yeah.
So you were placed in a unit called the Reserve. Could you
bunch of
kind of
men candidate kind of thing, like like and like robots that like yeah.
Okay, so could you go into a little bit more detail on what this this unit called the Reserve was? Kind of give us a story on that. And you mentioned robots now. Or
Oh well, like just because like the way they program us were like machines, like they trigger us, like we were like years during that school, the CIA school, almost like twice a week probably, ultra low frequency tones, we were doing tests just to get used to always our tone and our frequency, and we were falling up on neutral, and so that's how we take orders, this and certain words, and so that's pretty much the main, so it's dangerous through a phone to get a phone call, they do that sound, you're on neutral, and you just take what they say and you do it, and you don't remember because what you do it, and after you go back to sleep and all, and it's all it was a dream, and the next day that you worked or whatever, there are always a crew that are keeping you busy or changing your mind, or and that's a pattern that I've noticed through my personal experiences. So that always keep you so that you don't think about those dreams. But at some point, there's some missing times too that adds up, and with the dreams, because certain flashbacks are coming out, so yeah, that's how we you get to a point where you start to ask questions, so yeah.
So with what you're saying there, it goes into something that I've heard a lot of other people discussing, and it's called compartmentalization. And MK Ultra was supposedly supposed to be the kings of compartmentalization. So was you ever introduced to the term compartmentalization? And if so, what do you think?
Oh yeah, they were building a storage, the storage of the mind, in different places, in of the mind. This I remember, stuff that, I remember Jack coming to my place and talking to me, and when there's stuff like that, you just put this in those lower files, the files that you don't go back there, those are so the different compartment or whatever, places to put those memories, but when you get access to all those places, oh fuck, the shock, to process all that, you think you're going crazy. They make it so big, so wide, so wow, you imagine me, hey, I went twice to NASA to get trained and blah blah. You start saying this to anybody, you're a kid, you wouldn't get believe. They make it so you pass for fucking nuts. But the thing is nuts. So and I'm not the only survivor. There's a bunch of survivors. So yeah, I'm not the only one coming out with this, but at some point, my story got used by many people, and transform, and I'm here to cut the bullshit, because
yeah,
I think the real story is probably way wilder than the Stranger Things series example. That's based on my story, because.
And see, that's one reason why I wanted to do this interview this way, because like I said, on Raphael's wife's show, we've had a guy come on that talks about the secret space program, and it stirs up certain emotions. So it's just best that we do the interview, so that you can come out with this stuff, because this stuff right here that you've been talking about, this is good stuff that needs to be talked about, and I haven't heard too much of it, and it sounds like we're doing a really good, from my opinion, I think we're doing a really good interview, you know what I mean? Because you're getting into some areas that I have heard when it comes to these subjects, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying I'm really glad you're here, because we could get through it and start talking about some serious stuff that you want to talk about, you know what I mean? Are you happy up to this point with what we've been talking about?
I know I'm happy, I can expose a bit more in details, and that's a good thing. I think like people have to know that, and like I'm gonna do a call to all the other survivors or the people that doubt, like guys, like don't waste time. Go and get regression hypnose. Get your memory unlocked. Find somebody reliable. I went with Misha Johnston. It was she's a marvelous lady. She did an amazing job with me, and I have no regret doing this. Like really not, and cause every time there's one of us that dies, inside of a year we're being erased, like we never existed, and they're just erasing us one by one, and we gotta stick together, and we're trained for that, and guys, we gotta take back our place, because you all know what's coming up if we don't do it. So
Now,
it's a call to everybody, and
now there were a couple of other things too that I wanted to bring up that you had mentioned too, and I was wanting to see if you could probably talk about it. And it still has to do with this astral realms, talking about the astral realms. Now, you said that you opened up gates, and some of these gates look like mirrors.
well, no, the portal,
Okay.
because at Montauk, the chair, you were talking a bit earlier about all the wires and the plugs and the catheter, and that's where at Montauk. Okay, after the beating up part of probably I don't know how long, we got beaten, slept in the water and all, and I don't know how many time I spent there, but at some point Jack came and got me, and oh, nothing will happen to you, and we're gonna go on the chair again, and I'll guide you back. You're gonna go and open your gateway, and all the story to okay, he's there safe, because a lot of us were losing ourselves doing the astral projection, and we were just empty bodies after, losing ourselves in the mine or whatever, and they were using us. They were hanging the kids and draining them. So that's the part that me, when I was practicing young, I was always going in my area, the schools I knew, and also when the test that in those gaskets, I was practicing a lot before that, so I'm the only one that made it there at that test, and that's why I got sent to Montauk. But yeah, on the Montauk chair now, after being beat up and all, and Jack bringing me to the chair, Preston Nichols, I don't know if any of you guys saw the movie The Montauk Chronicles, but that's really well made. That's an investigation. It was years of research, and people that were other survivors I know, and the people that were working in the project and all, and Christopher Gaetano did an amazing job doing the Montauk Chronicles, and it's the best movie documentary I saw reproducing the what happened there. So if people want to have an idea of how dark the place was, and the kind of treatment we had, that's probably the limit we can show, that somebody can show on TV, because there's stuff I don't think any of us will talk about. So yeah.
Okay, now I am at the point now where we're getting ready to talk about Camp Hero and the Montauk chair, but the one thing I do want you to kind of elaborate on, because we have viewers out there that might not be aware of what you're talking about, but you mentioned the Monarch program, okay? Now, could you kind of give everybody a little bit of a background on what makes the Monarch program different than MK Ultra and the Montauk?
It's just the name that changed. It's the same techniques. It's just like the evolution of MK Ultra, like with the church trial, and like they lost a few documents that came into like public, and like they were like court, the American president like apologized to the victims and all, but like while he was apologizing, we were still doing this. So like yeah, so like I'm here to like show the real colors.
Okay, so basically the Monarch program is nothing more than changing the name of MK Ultra to something else.
And like for different like because like there's different like probably 200 like sub project that I know or like had an idea about. So like but for to train people for different fields, like so all related to those checklists that we were like filling up like through the first appointments and like through the years. So like to and like you know, sometimes we wanted to someone had to go in a certain field, but they were sent to another field or whatever if they had like stronger point for that, like so. But yeah, that's
Okay. Yeah, I kept getting distracted. I got Karma Love and Angel Esperada in the chat, and they keep messing with me. So I'm trying to stay focused. So I apologize about that, Christian.
I know me too. Like yeah, I'm talking a bit of everyone.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. But I wanted to get into that so that we can go on to the Camp Hero. And now, before we get into talking about the Montauk chair, could you kind of go into just kind of giving a description of Camp Hero in general and like the facilities that you had to go to when they were doing all this crazy stuff?
That was like a place like you know, like super dark, like water everywhere, like a dark place. You all the cage and all, and like you know, like the kids hanging in those like over the pans. Like I saw one that was right in front of my cage, you know, and I was scared, you know, of like looking at him because like 8 years old, and you see a little kid in front of you that's hanged up, and like yeah, like I was fucking scared of looking at him, you know, you know, like Pedro de Montoya. So like yeah, that was like something that you know, like even to this day, like my heart beats up when I talk about this kid, and like that Steve too, like cause Steve didn't make it too long after, like you know, like still Steve like yeah, he killed himself not too long after that, like yeah, he was dealing with a lot of demons, like that, you know, like all the stuff the rituals they did with us, you know, like there were like Aquino, General Aquino, that the military that was like Satanist, and like yeah, we went through a lot of shit in that, like yeah, people have no idea, and that's what I'm talking about in my book, like you know, like a bit, and like there's gonna be a new book soon that's gonna be like more elaborate on this, but this version was really like a lifesaver to like back up my ass a bit, because like I'm attacking something big here. So
Okay. And we mentioned part about the room with the masks and the monitors and the plugins everywhere with the catheter. Now, do you know exactly what the whole deal was with showing the lotus flower?
well, like that was, I think, like it was talking like while like Preston was hooking up like everything, like you know, like the hat and all the plugs everywhere, and like the monitors and like the catheter, and like Jack was like talking and like bringing me to a state of like relaxation, and like you know, to calm me down, like from all the traumas I just got out of, like because like he pulled me out of the cage section, like you know, like to the chair. So that's the time I had. So yeah, like just like talking, they put the mask in my face and like explaining me that was like a flower that they just discovered in Florida, a floating flower, Epiphat or something like that. There's a weird name, I have it in the book. I took a picture of one. So yeah, like a ghost something, and that was the vapor that he was saying that I was breathing in the mask.
Mhm.
And what else? He installed a portal. That's a portal, the watery look, that you were asking a bit earlier.
Yes.
That's that was on a stand, that they were lining up right in front of us. It looked a bit like a mirror on today, like a medical kind of lamp, like those the arms. So they were adjusting it in front of us, and preparing us to talking to us, and the lotus flower explaining to us and showing us the lotus to me, because it was one at a time on that chair. To that the lotus was used since ancient Egypt in ritual, blah 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 blah, and just telling me a bit the story of the flower, and that giving me my mission that I had to go through this portal that was a purple watery look, and go and through astral projection through the portal and go open my gateway. That everybody had a gateway, but no, it's not everybody that had the chance to go and open it. That it was okay to go that far, that he would be there, so I wouldn't get lost, and he would guide me back. So that's what I did.
Okay.
And when I came back, it wasn't there.
Now,
So
you also mentioned the catheter.
yeah.
Now, that to me implies the fact that you were there for quite a long time on that chair.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I went there a few times on the chair, but I didn't went through all the process of the cage and all. There were acid house too at Campfire, and we were going in there, taking drugs and laying down, and they were bringing us to without the beating and all the first few times. So, but that time, when the place blew up, kind of thing, that's because I didn't like the thing.
Yeah. Now, that's actually the point that where we're at now, because I did want to bring up the fact about you said that there were catheters there, so that tells me that you were actually doing something with that chair for long periods of times to where you had to have a catheter hooked up to you.
Yeah.
But now, when it comes to this with this chair, you've said made statements where it says it makes anything you want appear. Okay.
Yeah.
And the part you're talking about the base being destroyed, in previous interviews, you said that you actually created a glowing monster in your mind while you were on the chair, and that same glowing monster, I guess, had more than one of them coming out.
Well, yeah, I had glowing sticker album, and my mom was shown how to take care of me during the project, over covering me kind of thing while I was at home, and sleeping early, no light, and blah blah blah. So I had those stickers, and those stickers, I was putting them at the sun, as all day, while I was going to school, to have those as a light, under my blanket in bed at night. So that was my little routine, so I thought of that on the chair, and waking up to Jack not there, and the memory of the Steve that's I didn't know if he was dead, the kid that was dead in front of my cage. I didn't know if I was gonna be killed, because I saw that Jack was just fucking lying. So yeah, like I think protection mechanism. I didn't know nothing really scary at 8 years old, like except like like my glowing monsters, and that's what I thought of, and like they just like it's a portal, like a kind of round light that appeared on the wall, and they were coming one at a time, and like just like going each in their direction, and like smashing the place and killing people. So like, yeah, that's what happened. That's the truth. Like, I'm not shitting you. Like that's really happened. Like, so yeah, that's how that place closed, and how like the few survivors that, like, because I saved a few kids that day, like doing this, like because like 1% of us would have made it out there. So like, yeah, we were like still there were a bus. So
No, I know, like, the last interview I seen that you did, a lot of people in the chat were asking if you thought they were angelic or anything, and if they would have been listening to you, they would have known that you were saying that you created this in your mind. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it's my stickers. Actually, it's really like my stickers. Like they were like there were original monsters in those days, like like 6 monsters or whatever, and I had that kit in my book, and like that's what came out, and like but like human size, like but like a glowing sticker, like boosted, like really like strong, like because like the place was so dark, like the contrast of those were really like you weren't missing them.
yeah. Now, Raphael had to leave, but he told me that I should ask you how you coped with remembering all of this.
It was something hard, honestly. Like the time I like process all this, like like hard to like even function, like to go to work, or like just crying, like realizing all this. And I'm like I'm a tough guy, but like the memories of stuff, like wow, like it's stuff hard to like digest, and like to accept and deal with and all. But like at some point, like I understood that like that wasn't like me that wanted that, or like I was just lied to. My parents were lied to. Like all the victims of MK Ultra have been lied to. Nobody would do this for fun. Like like so yeah, like it's something hard to process. Took me a few years, like to like deal with this and put this in those storage like compartment kind of thing, and like not go too deep in those memory and spend too much time on that, because like life is wonderful, and like that was like not my fault. So yeah. So
Okay. Now that brings me to finally the regressive hypnosis. Now you said that Misha Johns was the one that
Johnson.
unlocked Johnson. She's the one that unlocked your memories.
Yeah.
Now I was wondering, and I know you said that you don't like focusing too much on it, but like you're doing a really good interview now, right now. So I was wondering if there was maybe you could give some details about those lost memories starting to flow back into your mind. You know what I mean? And I know like every other day you really don't want to think about it, but like right now is probably the best opportunity for you to get it out there and let people know, these were the memories that came back to me.
Yeah, like well, I remembered like the way they erased our memories, like and I think I'm the only one that like came back with that memory so far. So was like it was done at the hospital. Like we're sitting at a table, a little machine that they put on the table, and like there's a little wheel on it, and like we put our chin in our forehead, and like there's like a white plastic there, like a white or gray plastic pad, like, and like there's two sticks with two balls that like on your temples that like give shocks, like so that's how like and after they do like an hypnose, like programming, like what you had for life before. So like they erase what you had for life, and like they implant a new memory. But like the memory they implanted in my case was like the flashback I was getting weren't fitting with that at all. So like that's why I dig through this, and like went to like Misha Johnson and asked for like a regression hypnose, because like I was getting like a few flashbacks, and like so yeah, that's why I went to the hypnose like a bit kind of.
Now you also mentioned too that afterwards they reprogrammed you with false memories on top of, like they would wipe your memories but then put false memories in it.
Yeah, like they program I had the nicest childhood. I went twice to Disney, and like just like a basic like kind of like frame memory that like, and yeah, I went twice to Disney, but like wasn't twice to go to Disney. Like I went twice to Disney, but like I had a test to go do at the NASA there, like. Kennedy or Cape Cod or Kennedy Center, like there's a NASA there, like close to Walt Disney or whatever, and like the first time I went was like a machine that were pairing us to in it, and like the thing was turning super fast till we wipe out, and like that was to check the G's that we could handle, and like after like we left that place and like continue our vacation, like Walt Disney, SeaWorld and all, like, but the second year the test was like a glass box kind of thing with icy water in it, and like they were putting monitors with tape and like putting us making us sit in the container, and like a guy with a white suit and then like the monitor and taking notes, and like and after a certain time, like, okay, get up, and giving me a towel, and like after we continued our vacation, like, and yeah, that's.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you actually mentioned Disney, because that was something that really stuck out to me when you brought that up. Now, you said that you tested twice at NASA and probably was never a part of a secret space program. So you don't know for sure if you were or you weren't actually a part of the secret space program, but you were a part of like MK Ultra.
I think I was like in that program too. Like I think like they match us in a few different fields. Like when we're like strong psychic and stuff, like they make us like yeah, that we can like play around a bit in those fields.
So exactly what kind of tests were being done at NASA, if you could possibly maybe kind of give us a little bit.
Those I remember those two tests in my case was like the spinning machine that like for to figure out how many G's we could handle, and like the cold water bath to see how long we could handle like the cold water, like and yeah, that was two of the tests, but like that's only like one of the place, like NASA, like Camp Hero, or like another place in Canada was Bagotville, you know, like the Air Force base there. There's a big underground base there with huge tunnels. They were traveling us there with golf carts with a little light flashing on the golf carts, because like we were crossing other golf carts with like, and there were like a few trailers like behind the golf carts, people sitting in it like going that way, or people sitting in those golf carts going that way, like where we came from. So that was the place is huge. Like it's hard to you gotta see it to process how big this is underground, and like all those tunnels and all, and like so like yeah, there's I think like a lot is coming out like lately with everything that's happening. So I hope there's gonna be more of that, more exposing of that, and that's gonna stop. Like we need to have access to those places underground. Like yeah,
Cool. Now,
like, your tax money is going there anyway. Like
Yep.
you think it's going up here? Nah.
right. Now, you also said that you still use your abilities sometimes, even today. I was wondering if maybe you could kind of tell us what you still do when it comes to astral projection.
And honestly, I want to keep those like secret a bit, just for protection. Like I gotta keep a bit of like a bit of stuff for me just to back my ass, because like I'm taking I'm attacking something bigger, so like
It's a good idea to keep it private. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And it's like I said, there's a reason why I wanted to do the interview this way, because there are people who like to they're very opinionated about this subject. And I've been researching into the secret space program for a while. I haven't been a part of it or anything like that, but I am curious with the stories. I know that there's a lot of people that give you guys a lot of slack, or won't cut you any slack or anything, give you a hard time. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this, so that you could tell your story and, to damn with the rest of it. You know what I mean? Because for one thing, I started doing this channel back almost a year ago with old John from the Wonderful World of Weirdness, and I had to do a lot of changes on here. So, but with that, it's got a pretty big following, so this is a chance to get your word out to a bigger audience. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's awesome.
And
I appreciate this.
And I also stream on. I keep forgetting the freaking name of all of them, but I stream it on Odyssey, YouTube, X, Rumble, as well as Twitch. So
that's nice.
So we got that going on, and I really do enjoy doing these interviews. I enjoy hearing your guys' stories. So if you know anybody else that wants to come on and do some more conversations about the secret space program and the stuff you've been through, freaking feel free to let them know. They're welcome here. This is a community platform, okay? That's the thing that I insisted on when I got joined up with it. This means that if you're a part of the community for the Wonderful World of Weirdness, we'll let you come on and do your own show if you want. You know what I mean? So you can be on our shows anytime you want. If you see us in here, you've seen all the ruffians in the chat room. I mean, you know what I mean? They come in here, they'll join the show, stuff like that. So it's a community base, and you're always welcome to come in when we're doing shows, okay?
Thanks, that's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
And hopefully a lot of people will by through my memories of events, or will remember similar stuff that they went through, and will bring some curiosity enough for them to go and get this cleared out of their mind, through hypnosis, to see if it's real, or you're going nuts,
Yeah.
So, because at some point you get that feeling that, are you going nuts for real,
yeah.
so yeah.
So I'm gonna open it up, and Mr. Edworthy here, if he has any questions, I'll let him ask you some questions.
I was fairly ignorant of the MK Ultra program until now. I was aware of it, but I've never really looked at it in any detail. Don't think I've got any questions. It's just been a really interesting discussion from the perspective of somebody who went through all of that. Yeah, I just curious. How serious does this affect you in your current day-to-day current situation, or doesn't it?
Yeah, it affects me like lately, like since like that's why like it's the people that don't go and do their, because like it's, you gotta figure out that like you'll be like a period of like probably a year or two of like processing all this and accepting all this, and it can be faster like if you have help and all. So that's why I'm trying to like with each book I'm selling I'm giving $1 towards like a foundation that I want to organize with a few of the survivors to help other survivors and like give them resources, help sample regression hypnose or counseling or just to help them a bit, like because we've been left to we're like we got abandoned a bit, so by people participating in this and all, everything's gonna get known. People are gonna get their more story out, because it's not just mine. Mine is popular because Stranger Thing was based on it, but I'm not the only kid that was there, and some had it probably worse than me, so and that's those people that we need to get out and share their life experience, because I'm talking a bit about a few of my buddies that were in the project that got erased and all, but some didn't have life after the project, they fucked us up, and we need to change this, and life is good, and those people that are fucked up, make me talk with one, and I'll figure out a way to get them back, through slowly and all, not through the medical process that they have now in place. We need different alternative, different trades that will, nice people that will take their time, and I think that's the goal, with this foundation, is to help other survivors to deal with this, cope with this, come out with their story, and so that we stop that pattern and expose them so that it doesn't work and they can't take more kids, and because it's a big thing, so yeah.
No, I do. I do know, whenever you bring that up, when the mental problems and everything afterwards, I know that you guys have a lot of issues with that going on with your community, where there are people who suffer from mental illnesses because of it. They have and I noticed among a lot of them, a lot of the ones that are popular even in your guys' group have physical illnesses, extremely a lot of physical illnesses and stuff. There's been a couple of them I noticed that they've actually had families do freaking wellness checks on them, where they have a cop come out to check them to see if they're okay, because of those situations. So
yeah, they're more propice to have those kind of episodes in their life after being through MK. I remember the time when they erased my memory. I was for a while glitching. Okay, and I was scaring myself, because sometimes I was talking with people that I love, family or whatever, and at some point you just get blank, and you don't even listen to what they say. You're just thinking of how you can do it in 5 seconds, and but you have to fucking control yourself so that doesn't go ta-ta-ta on somebody you love, you know, like, so like that was a glitch, that's a bit why I left, like a bit that period, because they just erased my memory and all, like, so yeah. But this, I like through time, like now it's not happening anymore. I'm okay, like, but like I was carrying myself, you know, like, because like you go like in a kind of a blind spot, like just in your mind, and like you're programmed to kill, kind of thing. Like, so, fuck, like you don't stay close to the people you love in that time. So yeah.
Yeah. So, with the questions and everything, are you happy with all the questions I asked? Is there anything that I left out that you'd like to bring up that I didn't mention?
Well, like, honestly, like, no, I think it's a great interview. Like, there's so many stuff, like, you know, like it's a lifetime of it. I have like buddies that like are stuck in jail, and like I have to prove that like I'm a CIA asset. Like, hopefully there's one of them that are gonna come out for me, like, because like I have like good intention to like help people. It's not for my benefits, or like it's to help people. And like, because one of my buddies is stuck with 2 like life sentence in jail, because like when they all set us up, he had bigger charge, and yeah, like he needs to have a chance at life. Like, we that's not how it works. We're gonna change this. So, that's it. That's, yeah.
No, Sonia Galactic, she showed up before or just after the interview was done. She's in the chat now. If you'd like to say hi, Sonia, feel free to.
Hi.
Now,
Hi, everybody.
now
Nice to meet you.
we're interviewing Christian L, and he has had past experiences with MK Ultra, Operation Monarch, as well as the Montauk Freedom Base.
The Montauk Boys, like, yeah, that was one of the division. A few of us were going through this, and like that's the Montauk Boys, like kind of a little army of the reserve kind of thing. Yeah.
So if there's anything that you're curious about concerning all those stuff, then feel free to ask. You know.
Okay. Well, it's good to be here. I know you were going to go on Rob's show there, Chris. Did you ever get on there? I didn't see one with you, but I wanted to catch it.
Yeah,
Rob.
yeah, like on Typical Skeptic. Yeah, I did one.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like the thing that's funny, okay? Like in the first like 2 days or whatever, like I think there were like 400 views and like 126 likes, and like like in the 3-4 days after, it went up to 2,000 viewings, and like but like people were trying to like, and you were seeing the number go up and go back down to 126. So
Yeah.
like from like 400 people, like 126 to 2,000, and there were still 126. And after a few days, they removed like I think 600 views, and like they're playing with the numbers. So I have the screenshot of all this and the times. So like they're really trying to like censor my story, because like they don't want the truth out.
Well, they
Yeah.
they do it with our platform too. Like we
It's crazy. I went to check. Rob commented on my comment on one of the videos, and so I went to check, and it wouldn't show up, like either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the app, it said that Rob didn't have any followers, and he had like 1 like, and it was like his channel was like gone. But then when I line, it was still existent, of course. But it's Rumble's really weird, and that was on Rumble anyway.
Okay, me, I'm talking about YouTube, the YouTube channel there, like
same
It's
here.
not surprising.
Same here.
and it's not the first time I see this happening on all my stuff that I'm publishing or all, and like they're really like checking me, like
for sure.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it again. Okay, they went after people like Alex Jones first, and everybody turned a blind eye to it. And I was telling everybody that was a part of the ufologists and the paranormal communities, I was like, you can sit there and act that way now, but guess what? When they're done with people who are into conspiracies, guess who's next? You know.
Yeah, that's it.
And the truth of the matter is YouTube doesn't want channels like us on their platform. You know what I mean? They really don't. And you'd have to be a part of the
Controlled by the
history.
CIA. Like
You know.
everything's controlled by the CIA. So like,
They've had an issue with things like this, and Facebook is the same way. If they can get away with it, they'll get rid of you quick as a dime, a flip of the hat. You know, they want a fact check, and they want those facts freaking put in writing. And if you say something that doesn't go according to their facts check, you're a liar. You know. So.
Yeah.
all this because of the nice Bill Gates. He's a big cause of the censorship like that, and but it's not just him. It's like an alliance. It's like they pop, you know. So yeah, people have to wake up and listen a bit more to the people that are coming out with stories like that, and
yeah, they're
definitely not all bullshit. A lot of them are true. Yeah.
Yep. So, Mark, you got anything that you want to add to this? I know you were looking funny at me when I was talking bad about YouTube.
No, when it comes to YouTube, I can see there are issues in relation to so-called censorship, but I'm also thinking in relation to advertising, all content is good content.
Yeah.
Because of advertising. But yeah, that's besides the point. Talking of advertising, you said you had a couple of books. Do you want to name those books?
Yeah, well, my book and now is the Montauk Boys, Terror at Montauk, The Last Moments of Camp Hero, and it's under my name, Chris Laterreur, aka Duncan Cameron. That's the code name that I had at Montauk. They came out with somebody that was named Duncan Cameron to expose my story, but that wasn't a real guy. Now it's all debunked. That's but yeah, they made my story popular. So yeah.
Okay. Now, also,
I assume you can get them on
oh, go ahead, Sonia.
Yes.
Lulu.com.
What? Okay.
Yeah, Lulu.com to get the book, and people won't that's gonna help other people, other survivors, as each book sold gives $1 to towards that foundation, and people will gain a lot of knowledge of how the recruiting, the type of treatments that we're doing to us, or the conditioning, and the evolution of that program from the recruitment to how my life turned when they all set us up and all. Cause you think the Montauk's a nightmare, the rest of my life wasn't easy either. So at some point, I'm used to it. I've been in that all my life. So try to scare me with whatever. Try.
There you go. There you go. That's the way you deal with it.
Went down to, I'm sure you probably heard, they had it was probably maybe, I don't know, a year ago or so, where they went down to Montauk, actually, or the area there. They took a road trip or whatever. Did you hear about that?
Oh, well, there's a lot of people have take footage of the place and all. There's a lot of documentary that are good images, Brian Mimic that got a bunch of exploration done in there, has a nice footage, like Christopher Garetano that did like a few documentary on the place. I actually did a podcast with him. And yeah, like I think like people are all working together to get this out, and like
Absolutely. Our Kimura, and I think Rob went with them. I can't remember for sure, but there was a bunch of them that took a road trip down there not too long ago.
yeah, I think that's probably a year ago. But that's that's 12 August this year, probably, because I know there's a bunch that went for the anniversary, and like it sucks because like I can't go there, like, but like yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting what they had to say.
It was cool because Galactic Fire ambushed the Rumble stream. She didn't get no answer on there, so she finally came on here to
I ambushed. Yeah.
she, for her first resort is go to the freaking video chat. And so every time she'll say something, and if nobody answers back, she'll go right on to Skype.
A lot of people that are going presently to like Montauk, like to the old site, like are getting those like weird vibes, you know, like it's kind of a place that went through so much evil that the place is like in print with that, you know, like, so that's gonna take more time than what it like, more time revealing, I think, because there was a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad place altogether. The first thing I ever remember hearing about the Montauk program was the mutated creatures that were being found dead on the beaches, where they were doing genetic research and stuff. And like with the whole secret space program and MK Ultra and stuff, this stuff is relatively new to me when it comes to Montauk. Like, I just now recently, within the last 6 months, started hearing people even put the two together, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's interesting.
Coming out.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Hold on a minute. I'm just gonna, like, share my, the link for the book. So,
yeah, go for
in
it.
the comments.
And before these two got all rowdy on me and everything, I wanted to also ask you to give a plug to yourself. Like, if you have any channels on YouTube or Facebook or anything that you're wanting to say, go ahead and say it for the end of the video so that we can get your...
I got a Substack, like Chris Laterreur, but like my YouTube channel got banned, like both as soon as I got my book out. Like, I got one back, but like I didn't play with it. I just got it back in the last few days. I'm not sure if it's a mistake or whatever. I didn't like go and, but yeah, like they took my both of my channels out. So.
Now you do have something on Facebook though, right?
On Facebook, like I talk about like regular updates, but like the best place is the Substack, like where like there's a lot of documentation. Facebook is just censoring everything and putting like
nonsense.
I'm shadow banned everywhere, like on Facebook. So.
Yeah, you go on Christian's Facebook profile and you might see like images of little Care Bears that were put on there from Facebook instead of what he's posting. That's what I've been noticing lately. Like, I know people on Facebook, and I know they wouldn't post half the shit that's on their profiles or timeline, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I'll share my link here for Substack. There's a lot of stuff on my Substack. So like little videos of us, some of the plays they brought us, like, you know, like because they were a part of SRA, like, you know, like the satanic ritual abuse, like and yeah, like people have no idea, and I think it's a good thing that people get awake to what the cops, the government, the army, like the Freemasonry are doing to kids. So like, yeah.
And it's
that's all them that I'm taking on.
All right. And it's like I said, man, this is your interview, but you're always welcome to come on to the show whenever I stream. On any of my streams, I actually do quite a few of them, probably too many. But,
Right? 50 or something.
yeah. But,
That's awesome.
but you're always welcome, man. And I'll try to tone it down on people coming in and giving you a hard time. You know what I mean? There's another guy that.
I think, don't lie.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's another guy that I talked to on Nancy Planetta's channel. His name's Brian, and he just gets so much crap. It's like, and I was guilty for one of them because I brought up a hot topic that caused everybody to just go nuts. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't have probably done that. Now that I look back on it, you know what I mean? Because it ended up him getting off the thing. He comes back on the show whenever it's all said and done, but like he constantly takes off. You know what I mean? Because somebody starts talking about Jesus and stuff of that nature, and it just goes nuts. So
Yeah. Some are more sensible to those subjects. Yeah.
yeah, but maybe I can get him on here, and if he comes on, man, you're more than welcome to come in and be on the panel like Raphael and Sonia and Mark is right here. You know, hang out, and we'll do everything that pertains to the secret space program. This is the way I'm going to format it, to where questions and answers are after, because that's just from experience. You know what I mean? Like somebody's going to get on there and start getting crazy. You're gonna see a remake of Shanae off of Martin. You know, you guys remember Shanae?
Yeah, but like one thing I want to say is that like like a guy like me doesn't come out in public, and like I don't. It's not like I have a smooth life or like like I don't. A guy like me doesn't come out like that and like expose all his life, and like there's like probably 20,000 people that know me still alive, like across my life, that can like come and bring it on. But like I'm so like I would be an idiot to lie on anything that I said in the book or that I'm saying, because it's all true. Like so, like I would lie a little thing, I would like lose. So I'm just genuine and open and like transparent on this, and like but like it's not something that you do for fun. So people have to like get this in their mind, because like I'm doing this to help others. Like it's not for me, because me it's just gonna bring me trouble. So like I'm doing this for others, and I'm doing this for like the future generations and all. Like let's take back our place. Like I'll help you. I'm good at that. So like that's my message. So like I'd like the other survivors to get in contact with me, and because we got a lot to talk about.
And you've done a great job tonight. At least I think you have. We've gone through the information. I wish I could have really pulled up more, but like everything that I came across, it was pretty much basically the same stuff. I might have missed maybe 2 or 3 things. I'll tell you, I only went through 3 interviews, just so I didn't, or two or 3. It was, but I thought I got up enough information to where it could make for a good conversation, and you did really great. You did really great on this show. And just to let you know too, I'm not a big secret space program person. I'm just into really cool, strange, unusual, bizarre stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like with Mark, me and Mark do a tech talk video stream. So I'm not just into this. I'm also into talking about technology and politics too. So, but I ain't bringing politics up on this one. That's not happening. I don't.
I want to say hi to all the politicians too.
Sonia's.
I want to say thank you, Chris, for doing what you're doing. That's really brave.
Thanks. Thanks.
Good job. Yeah. Need more people like you.
Yeah, I think like yeah, people have to like we're at that point where like we're at the edge where like if we fall on that side, we won't go back after. Like we have to like we have to take.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tipping point. I agree. So, we have come to an hour and 56 minutes in the recording time. That's not counting the stream. The stream says that we've been on for 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I think that actually justifies it, because it's like I said, I watched those interviews, and it seemed like nobody was giving you enough time to like elaborate on stuff and kind of tell your story. You know what I mean? It always seemed to go off in some other direction and off focus.
Yeah, because it's so big, eh? Like it's a lifetime, like I was saying earlier. Like and like there's so much like important events that like that's why the book helps a lot for somebody to like know the story. And after, like anybody that wants to contact me, I'm a guy that's open to like like you have questions or whatever. Like I even put my coordinates in the book. So like yeah, like people that are curious and like yeah, I think it's the good thing to do, like to read the book, and like after you have questions, ask. Like even you, if you have you build up more questions and you want to do another show, I'll be happy to do it. Like I love the experience, and yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah, if I'll see what happens with Brian, and maybe we could do a little round table. Have you guys come on and kind of give your stories together.
That would be sweet.
So
yeah.
With that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream because you guys are really freaking boring me, and I'm sick of this place. And not really, because Sonia's here. It's always about the ladies. It's always about the ladies. So.
You know it, Roger.
You know it. They call me Chocolate Thunder for a reason. Did you see that in chat? They're like, Karma's on there calling me Chocolate Thunder. She's like, oh, Chocolate Thunder. So, and she's not here right now, but I wanted to say thanks for showing up, Karma, and thanks, Raphael, for showing up as well. I really appreciate you guys supporting us.
Thanks to all of you guys for participating, and yeah.
And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. You guys have